Looking at Gerard lost in thought, Marin gently took his hand and offered to guide him. Once they left the forest, the large garden filled with Mandragora flowers was revealed. Before she knew it, the scent of the Mandragora had spread even further, and it looked as though a golden carpet had been laid across the ground. Gerard stopped in his tracks and looked around. Here? Do you remember? He couldn't even see at the time, so did he remember it by scent? Are you trying to seduce me again? Marin burst out laughing and looked at him. She saw herself reflected in his dark gray eyes. The silver eyes from that day had been beautiful, but the gray eyes gazing directly at her now were beautiful still. When I first saw Gerard's eyes here that day, I thought they were truly beautiful. I was wondering if you were trying to seduce me. He laughed as if recalling old memories. I've been thinking about that day sometimes. So let's do it here. Marin smiled brightly and returned her gaze to the large garden. Do what? The wedding. Let's have it here. Marin met his eyes and smiled gently. Good. A soft smile appeared on his lips as he glanced at the garden. You don't seem like yourself at all today. Now let me ask you, what happened? Marin asked Gerard, who had been serious the entire time, for the reason. The Emperor's message has arrived. Wonderful. Then we can have the wedding right away? Her voice was filled with excitement at the good news. A wedding. But not ours. What? Marin asked again with a puzzled expression. Another wedding? Does wedding will be held in 3 months. He has written that we must come directly to the capital to prepare for the ceremony. Gerard spoke with a cold expression, as if chewing on the contents of the letter. Marin's lips trembled in surprise before she finally managed to speak. Duh, is getting married? Yes. The Emperor has issued the order. Is there ever a case where a national marriage happens so suddenly like this? Marin felt so flustered that she raised her voice without realizing it. This shouldn't be possible. It was a national marriage. Originally, such preparations would take at least a year or more. Wait a moment, while there is a national wedding, all the nobles. Marin whispered, her face blank. Cannot get married. He continued her sentence as if about to explode with anger. It was the national wedding of the empire. To commemorate such an occasion, no nobles were permitted to marry within 3 months before or after the event. It was a measure designed to ensure the national wedding received undivided attention. Of course, under normal circumstances, the wedding date would be announced at least a year in advance, so nobles had no issues. Marin. Shall we get married here and now? Gerard held her hand tightly. What? Marin's startled voice came out strangely high. When their eyes met, Gerard's gray eyes were filled with burning intensity. He was serious. I will fetch the priest at once. Wait a moment, Gerard. When he took a step forward, Marin quickly grabbed his arm and stopped him. Gerard frowned and looked back with an expression asking why she was stopping him. Do you not want to marry me? What? Why would you jump to that conclusion? Marin's embarrassed eyes widened in surprise. I want to get married now, but that damned, Marin quickly covered his mouth and looked around. No matter how angry he was, he shouldn't curse the Emperor carelessly. Of course, that didn't mean they wouldn't curse internally. Wait a moment. Now, repeat after me. Breathe in, breathe out. Gerard, rendered speechless, raised one eyebrow as if asking what she was doing. It really helps to calm down. As he looked at her steadily, Marin carefully lowered the hand covering his lips. Why don't you want to marry me? This man was truly persistent. Why wouldn't I? I want to. I want to do it now. Marin put both hands on her hips and shouted at Gerard. His shoulders slumped slightly at her confident spirit. But what's wrong with that? Imperial law only recognizes marriage after obtaining the Emperor's approval. Do you want me to live as your mistress instead of Gerard's wife? A wedding without the Emperor's approval was unacceptable in aristocratic society. A covenant ceremony between two people was only held when accepting a concubine. Gerard's jaw twitched when he heard her stern voice. No. Why would the Emperor do this? I thought he was simply mad, but then I realized he has another ulterior motive. He raised the corners of his mouth coldly. Can you tell me what you realized? Could you elaborate a bit more? My understanding is fairly good, but I'm weak when it comes to interpreting short answers. Marin met Gerard's eyes and spread her hands wide to physically demonstrate the word elaborate. It's my fault. When Gerard spoke in a voice full of remorse, Marin exclaimed again. Longer. A longer explanation. Perhaps you are what the Emperor is after. The villagers saw you and Bunny. He might be wondering if your abilities are real. I tried to prevent the villagers from talking, but I never anticipated that someone would leave the village. He lowered his head slightly with an apologetic expression. Finally understanding, Marin sighed. How could this be his fault? It was a good thing that Bunny had saved the children, and it was impossible for her and Bunny to be separated. Everything was interconnected. I only have the ability to make people sleep. Marin said with a frown. It's fortunate that the Emperor doesn't know your true abilities yet. We just need to make sure he doesn't find out. So what do we do now? That damn Emperor, again. When Marin covered Gerard's lips once more, he took her hand, lowered it, and pressed his lips deeply against the back of her hand. I will protect you. Looking into his serious eyes, Marin couldn't help but smile. I know. First, I have to tell Dia about this. Oh, right. Dia will be very surprised. Marin agreed with a worried expression. And from now on, when you cover my mouth, use something different. What? His eyes were fixed on her lips. Marin noticed that look and widened her eyes. No, this man, seriously. Marin took a deep breath in front of Dia's room and knocked on the door. This news was unimportant to her personally, but Dia was directly involved. In order to keep Dia calm, Marin had decided to speak with her directly rather than through Gerard. When the maid opened the door at the sound of the knock, Dia, who had been writing something at her desk, looked up. Teacher Marin. Dia, are you busy? Dia put down her quill and rose from her chair to greet her. No, please come in. Could you prepare some tea? Yes, my lady. The maid quietly closed the door and left. I think I interrupted you. When Marin sat in the chair at the table and glanced toward Dia's desk, Dia followed her gaze and smiled shyly. Not at all. I was just writing a letter to His Highness. Oh, I see. Marin quickly concealed her sad feelings. There was no telling whether that letter would reach the capital before the news did. While Marin was choosing her words, the maid brought out refreshments and tea, then departed again without a sound. Teacher, did something bad happen? Dia asked cautiously with a worried expression. Marin decided there was no need to hesitate any longer and met Dia's eyes. Dia. Your wedding date has been set. Pardon? Dia, who didn't understand Marin's words, blinked her large eyes slowly. A letter arrived from the Emperor today. Its contents stated that you and His Highness the Crown Prince will be married within 3 months. Only then did she comprehend, and her green eyes widened in shock. What is this? I haven't heard anything from His Highness the Crown Prince. Marin smiled bitterly. His Royal Highness probably didn't know either. Dia's eyes softened at her words. There must be another reason. Marin parted her lips, her face filled with guilt. I'm sorry. I think it's because of me. Gerard believes the Emperor found out about me and Bunny, and ordered this. He's using Dia's wedding to make me come to the capital. As Marin continued, Dia's face slowly hardened. I'm sorry, Diameter. Marin bowed her head toward Diameter. No, teacher. I'm the one who's sorry. Dia apologized to Marin with a troubled expression. Why? Marin raised her head in disbelief. If I hadn't been engaged to His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, they wouldn't have been able to use me. A dark shadow fell over Dia's beautiful face. No, Diameter. Please don't apologize. Dia hadn't done anything wrong, so there was no reason for her to apologize. If His Majesty the Emperor is using my wedding to summon Teacher Marin to the capital, I cannot allow it to proceed like this. I'll go alone. Dia said with a cold expression. Dia. Marin's eyes widened in surprise. I will not do what His Majesty wants. Dia declared with resolute eyes.